My name is Bishop James Banda. I'm the founder and the presiding bishop of Divine Liberty Center Ministries. I'm a gay, and I fear not to tell the world that I am. Yeah, proud gay. Yes. It may not be so easy, and we don't know what the future predicts, depending on the kind of, the environment here in Uganda. But I say no. I previously had been counseling a number of youth who were gay. Some of them, they're sexual workers in Kampala, and interacted with them. And, what they are going through was horrible. And so I decided to come out so that I can be exemplary and a voice, and they can look at me and at least got that comfort that if this person can do it, if he can stand his ground and be able to disclose who he is, then it can also be possible for somebody else. But right from I discovered that I'm gay when I was only 8 years, when I was still a young boy. And so my parents knew that, and it wasn't, easy for me. My mom and my dad, they decided to throw me out. They say, we cannot stay with this kind of kid. So I was almost hated by everybody. And so I grew up not, I do have a nasty background because I was so traumatized. But then when I discover that I'm a human being like any other human being, and I'm acceptable by the Lord, because look, I had not been ordained when I was not a gay, but right from childhood I've been a gay. And but God called me into ministry. I heard his voice, and later I was ordained as a pastor. I started, ministering for so many years. I've won so many people to Christ. And so I knew that really God can use anybody. So my coming out really gave me the peace. It's something which I have been yearning for so many years. So I see it as something, coming into reality, that the truth now has come out. I never minded of what will happen later, but at least it gave me humble peace for that matter. Yes. I was married before, and so my wife suspected something, but it was not so clear to her. But, she smelled a rat. Something was going on, and so she kind of, trying to talk to some people that, look, this is what I sense, but I don't know whether it is true. So when I had that, I decided to call my own children and tell them the truth. So I disclosed to them. And of course, at first, I never felt anything. I never, out of them, they were like, it's okay. I didn't know that they didn't perceive it well. It was not well with them, but they pretended as if it was well with them. They never cared. It's okay, that it is well. But later I discovered it wasn't well. After disclosing to my children, then I said, it is now high time that this lady knows the truth. But it was horrible. After real knowing, she decided to organize some of my close friends, the pastors whom we've been working together for so many years. You know, I've been, previously I was elected as presiding bishop of Luero in the Born Again Faith Federation. So I was not only leading this church, but many pastors, about 230 pastors under, this area. So now, all these people now. So when he tried to raise them and invited them, I never knew what was going on. But she was doing it in underground. So I was here at home. I was preparing for a journey. I was going somewhere, so I didn't know what was going on. Then I started seeing pastors arriving. He said, "Hey, you most welcome." I thought maybe it is, maybe they have come maybe for prayers or. So then one of my son came to me and told me, "Dad, it seems there are so many visitors who have come today. I don't know. Do you have a meeting or what?" I said, "No, I don't have an appointment with anybody. I do have a journey. I'm moving out." So he said, "Please, maybe you'll not be able, because I see MC cars parking around here." So they were coming. And now I was a little bit puzzled. So they convened, all of them. We gave them a seat. They had to sit down. And then Madame came to me and said, "I'm sorry, maybe you are going somewhere, but you'll not be able. We do have a brief meeting with these men of God. Let me hope you borrow us some time and listen to what they have to tell you." That's when I realized it was now not normal. So we had a meeting, and out in that very meeting, she disclosed that the reason why I have invited you is to inform you and let you know that this man is a gay. So maybe you can do something about it. I don't know. And I want you to know, maybe you will, I don't know, but it is high time that you help us, because this has gone out of our hands. Oh, it was real hot. After she had said whatever she said, yes, I said, okay. And said, I do. And even before he came out to tell us, I have been suspecting that he had an affair with a certain guy. And so it is not something that maybe he's trying to, but I do have even proof beyond doubt. So after that, I stood and I reacted a little bit vigorous, because I asked them, because the first person who was there was a close friend of mine. I thought he was so close. And so I asked him, have all along I've been knowing you're my close friend. Then how come that you come in my home without even letting me know that you're coming? Look, I do have a journey. I'm going somewhere. And you came, you organized with my wife, not letting me know anything going on. So I just see you there. This is an ambush. You would have alerted me. You let me know. You asked me, hey, this is what we hear. Is it true we are coming? Your wife has, invited us to come. Are you aware of the meeting? So I said, well, Thank God. Nevertheless, I will not accuse you. Thank God you've come and you wanted to know. This is okay if that is what she's saying. Yes, I am. So, what do you have for me? It was like everybody was shocked. There are some ladies who had come. They looked down. And even my mother had come. Yeah, she was there, and actually she was outside and she had not been part of the meeting, but then I invited her inside. I said, if they have invited the rest, then why about my mother? Let also be part of this meeting. So she was also there, and I told them, yes, Mom, this is the boy you brought forth. You know me, and you have been knowing me right from childhood. You know the kind of boy. So these people don't know me. They are hearing this for the first time, but you've been knowing about it. This is the guy God gave you. So my mother was kind of that. Now she also reacted and said, now this meeting for what? She turned against my wife and said, why did you call up for this meeting? Why all these pastors? They have come to do what? I do believe this is your husband. If you had anything misunderstanding, you would have first sat with him and you discuss your issue between you two people. But then you have involved everybody on board. Don't you think it's now out of your hands? So from there I said, yes, Mom, you know what? It is good that this lady has acted that way. And she started crying and said, I never knew this. What an hypocrite, what hell. And she said, I do vow I will kill you. I will kill you. She's, by the way, she's a soldier, a warrant officer, one, and also a medic, a midwife. So she said, I will kill you. I swear you will not survive. You cannot just come out and pretend for all these years, and then now you're telling everybody that I will not wait. I can't see this. So she left the meeting, went in the bedroom, weeping. Some lady followed her. So they turn to me and say, hey, now tell us, Bishop, are you sure that you want to live this life that you are telling us? Or you have been doing it accidentally and now you feel it is high time you repent and you reconcile with your wife? Because now, look, you have children who have grown up. They are hearing this for the first time. This is a devastating blow to yourself and your family and your ministry. Because after here, everybody in the church will know. And don't expect to remain with anybody in the church. These people are running away. They are going to go away. And so you're blowing yourself. So I was a little bit quiet. But yeah, and I stood and told the one who asked me that, look, why should I repent? What should I repent for? Well, I'm so sorry for keeping you guys for all this long, not disclosing who I am. But now I feel God has made it clear to you. What has been in the closet, it has now come out in the light. And I do believe now everybody does know who I am. So I'm just sorry. I feel so sorry for this lady. But my children, yes, I told them, and it is up to them to believe, because these children are my DNA. They do carry my DNA. So I thought it wise to tell them who I am. And so, but now this lady, she has known, it is up to her now to do whatever, because she's now vowing to kill me. I don't know for what reason. Well, I think it could be, now I think it is the light, darkness has come out in the light. She has known the kind of person I am. And this gives us a good ground now to reconcile when we know who exactly, which person you are dealing with. Yes, I looked for the ground of reconciliation, but not on condition that, because for her, she said, if you're to reconcile with me, what I regard as a true reconciliation is when you denounce, you tell me that you are no longer gay. But if you continue telling me that you are gay, then I will never, I can't deal with, heathen. You are not even a Christian. You're going to hell. And it's high time we part. So I said, it is up to you. Whichever is convenient for you is what you can do. But for my children, I said, I am your dad and I will remain your dad. Even when I'm dead, you always point at my grave and say, hey, that is daddy lying down there. So you better accept. But for some, at least there was kind of that bitterness, and their mom tried to win them on their side and tell them this, look at this, he's an agent of the enemy, he's devilish, he's going to hell. You can't, there is no way you can deal with him. So he decided to pack up and they leave me. So she left and tried, to kill me twice. She has been trying to do that. I had some people. A guy came and I thought he was passing by. He had a hole. And as he came, I stood nearby and said, hey, how are you? He said, I'm fine. The next thing I had was it hit me so hard with the hole and broke my arm. And say, so you're the guy. We want to eliminate you. You're spoiling the entire community with your gazing. Indoctrinating people, because you are getting money from these bazungus, and you think you make it not here. I tried to run away. I said, what have I done? I've not done anything. Please spare my life. And there were people around. And these people could not do anything, because he was coming towards me. And then he pulled out a gun. I didn't know he had a gun. And so he started shaking, saying, do you know how many I've killed? Do you know how many I've killed? So he was sweating. And people were coming, because of the, noise, people were coming to see what is happening. And so people were shouting, they are killing, oh, come on, don't kill him. So later, took his gun and said, I've given you one day. If you leave here, that will be the end of you. So he went away. And I went to, of course, I explained to the congregation, to the people who had gathered by. I'm sorry. And of course, I didn't tell them exactly what has, because they could add pain to an injury. But I told them this guy had come to kill me and I have done nothing. I don't know. He, you know. So they say, oh, poor him. Now they sympathize with me. Please, you go and report to the police. I went there. Of course, I went to the hospital. They tried to do it. I went to the human rights. There's a human rights branch down here. I explained to them. They said we are going to follow up the case. But you know what is happening here. Nothing really yielded to something. So that God spared my life that day. And, you know, I went to some, I was appealing for some assistance, rapid response for relocation. Of course, I could not stay around because of what had happened. So I had to move away for some good time. So again, but then after some time I had to come back because this is where I had a ministry, and even I was still concerned about my children and the people I left. So when I came back, it was hot. Everybody now, they are disclosed to the entire church, and people had run away. A few, you know, had remained. We had a congregation of about 200 and plus some people, but they had left because of what had happened. And the lady also had gone. And so when I came back, I found, of course, these faithful ones. They said, yes, we don't, Bishop, we know what has happened, but we do still believe in you. And some, of course, they didn't know exactly. They wanted to hear from the horse's mouth. They wanted to know the truth from me, if I could still disclose this to them and tell them exactly what was going on. So I said, well, this is exactly what happened, but we shall continue with the ministry. So those few wanted to know. Of course, I gathered them and I said, let me be open to them. Let them, after all, they have heard it from, you know, my wife tried to influence everybody, and these people, they were influenced by what was going on. So I said, now, I can't hide anything anymore. Let them know. So when I disclosed, even those who were remaining, I had pain and injury, so some that left. But of course, there are some people, and I do even still, I had here some LGBT members in the church. Those could go nowhere. So they remained, and it was other people who were really so concerned that they said, no, we are not going to leave you, Bishop. We will be with you, whichever happens, we are here. So we continued with the ministry. So she came again the next time. This time she pretended that she has come back. I saw her coming with all her belongings. And she told me, I'm not going anywhere. I have come back, this time with a mission. I didn't know which mission. She did not disclose the mission. Of course, I hadn't previously known that she was after my life. Then I could not, I said, okay, after all, we had not divorced yet. So she had all the right to stay in the house. She took her belongings inside, and they came back with the children. She had taken them, but now this time they're coming back. And so the children came to me and told me, Daddy, we have now no problem with you. We are ready to love you and to accept you. You are our dad. Wow. It was really wonderful time for me as a parent. And my mom, after that incident, she stood with me and told me, you know what, son? I'm so sorry for what happened previously. But now, whichever happens, I love you. You're my son. You'll always be my son. It is unfortunate my dad had passed on, so she never had time to see that. And I even had sisters, my real sisters. And these also came to me and they told me, you know what, we are not going anywhere. We love you. We will continue with you. We will support you. And one of these strong allies of mine is Honorable Annie Doreen of Kenya, the one who is a board member in UCA. From that onwards, she has been my strongest, my strong ally, my closest friend. She decided not to leave me. She said, you are my brother, the elder brother of ours. We regard you as our dad. So we are not going to abandon you. So these are really, they have been encouraging to me. The religious leader, this is what I have for you. No one's salvation hinges on what we do or think or believe, gender or sexuality. Our theological conviction should never be motivated by fear and condemnation. Actually, a church should be a place for all. And it is written in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have an everlasting life. For God did not send his child, Jesus, into the world to condemn the world, but the world through him that it may be saved. So salvation is for all, irrespective of their gender, of their sexuality. We are all children of God, irrespective of our gender, of our sexuality. We are all accepted before God as beloved. He has chosen us as a special vessel to serve the Lord. So you are leader there. You are change agent. You are there to help these people know their God, not to chase them out. We are to bring them into the flow of God, not tell them out of here. God is for everybody. Yes, he loves us all. We are all his children, and we have been called as sons and daughters of the King, the great King. So if we condone, they say, homosexuality, homophobia, transphobia, biphobia, whichever it is, it will not help. Love is the greatest weapon that we should always use to bring people back to God. I do believe that the journey is hectic. It is not gonna be for one day or maybe 1 year. I can't predict that maybe tomorrow. But one thing I know, that the future of the LGBT in Africa and in Uganda, the future is colorful and is bright. We are gonna reach there. It is not gonna be easy, but we are the people God has called and God has chosen. We need to stand our ground and tell the world who we are. Don't shy away. Your voice matters. Your identity, it matters. So don't just shy away and tell and say, how this will not help. God has reserved you there as a mighty army. You're on that mighty arm of the Lord. So stand your ground. And I do believe that God on our side, yes, we will win. The world has, disregarded you, has discredited you as a nobody, as a person who cannot bring anything out. But I want to assure you, you are a child of God. You are an instrument God is going to use to transform Africa. God is going to use to transform the world. So stand your ground and let's all stand. Yes, Uganda is still a dangerous place for LGBT, but we are not depending on Uganda. We are not depending on the economy of this country. We depend on God, and we really trust in the Lord. And we know we do have a cloud of witness world over. We have people of the same mind. We do have our brothers and sisters out there who are also struggling like we are doing here. Let's stand. Let's continue struggling. One day, the future will be bright. One day, we're going to make it by the grace of God.